Hello and welcome to Navigating Disruption webinar today. I am Jen Schomer from Rockton Software. I will be your facilitator today, and I have a number of awesome sponsors here today with me that I'm going to be handing it over to Bob here in just a second. But before that, we're going to go over some housekeeping. At the end of our session, we will have some time for Q&A. In your GoToWebinar panels, you should see an option to submit questions. So please go ahead and do that. You will be muted until we get to the point of Q&A. And if you'd like to speak your question, let me know. And we will be taking as many questions as we can. If for some reason we run out of time, we will be following up with those answers. So still continue to submit your questions. We will also be following up this webinar with a recording link and some additional information on how you can reach out to any of the sponsors and speakers today if you should have any questions. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to you, Bob. We're going to go ahead and I will get your slides up and you let me know if you can see everything that you need.
Okay, Jen, I can see everything, and thank you so much. Good day, everybody. Welcome. This is our Navigating Disruption webinar, sponsored by Cavallo, DocStar, and Rockton Software. And I am so pleased to be here today with my friends, my rockstar friends from DocStar and Rockton Software, discussing this important topic. So we'll get started here, and then we'll take your questions near the end. Next slide, please. So this news from the publisher, which is Microsoft, came out about a year ago. And I think it's important to start here because this is where the rubber meets the road for existing Dynamics GP customers as well as prospective Dynamics GP customers. So if you are an existing GP customer today, the news from April 4th, 2023 clearly said that you would see some inflationary pressure on pricing and enhancements and things of that nature, but that purchasing seat licenses, perpetual seat licenses for Dynamics GP, and obtaining support from Microsoft and many partners who still support Dynamics GP is the status quo. Very little changed last April with this announcement from Microsoft for existing Dynamics GP customers. I think that's really important to emphasize since they had so little changes in their day-to-day with Dynamics GP. On the prospective customer side, April 1st, 2025, perpetual or traditional Dynamics GP licenses will stop being sold. You will only be able to get Dynamics GP via subscription. And 1 year later, April 1, 2026, prospective customers can no longer purchase Dynamics GP. All right, so very important distinctions for existing and prospective customers of Dynamics GP to consider on the calendar. If you're an existing customer, the left side of this slide is all that pertains to you. You can roll forward as you have been doing with your solution. Okay. If you hear dates for existing pertaining to existing customers and April 25 or 26, those dates are not applicable and the source is incorrect. Existing customers rolling forward status quo with a little inflationary pressure on pricing. Next slide, please. Here is the roadmap published by Microsoft in the fall of 2019. Okay, Dynamics GP was promoted to the modern lifecycle from the fixed lifecycle policy. All right, modern lifecycle policy applications in the Microsoft applications family include Dynamics 365 Business Central, Dynamics 365 Finance and Supply Chain Management, the Office family of products, previously known as Microsoft, or now known as Microsoft 365, previously known as Office, Power Platform. So for Dynamics GP, it was a promotion. They've been promoted to the same club, if you will, as those other applications in the business applications family. So on the fixed lifecycle chart there, the last row, Dynamics GP 2018 and 2018 R2, off of mainstream support since January of 23. So the important notice here is to be current. Work with your partner if you're an existing customer. Partners work with your existing customers who seek to stay on Dynamics GP and get them current so that they can be part of that modern life cycle policy that Microsoft has promoted GP to. This is an important diagram, and it hasn't changed in several years, and it's likely going to change soon. We'll get to that later, but this is an important thing for existing customers to understand the time frames and differences between fixed and modern lifecycle policy. Next slide, please. Okay, my friend Terry Healy in Fabulous Fargo got me up to speed on the annual Dynamics GP release schedule. When Terry talks or publishes a blog, I always listen and read twice, okay, because Terry's fabulous. And she said these are the 4 key months in a given calendar year when we can expect activity development-wise from the folks at Microsoft surrounding Dynamics GP. October is new release month. Okay, in October 2023, we got Dynamics GP 18.6. This October 2024, we will expect Dynamics GP 18.7. The following month in November is reserved for U.S. payroll and year-end opportunities. We all know that payroll and year-end are necessities, and if you're running payroll, you need to worry about year-end close. Then November is a time to start worrying about that in the United States. Meanwhile, in the Great White North, Canadian payroll and year-end hits in December. Once we get to January and the new year, that's usually around the time we could expect to see a hot fix. By that time, it's been roughly 90 days since October and the new release and new functionality has come out. So a hot fix in January makes sense. There are usually other governing or other changes that states or provinces pass during the year that get dropped in, say, the spring or summertime. But for Dynamics GP end users, the important thing to remember are these 4 months: new features in October, payroll November, December, and a potential hotfix in January. This is how you can plan your upgrades to stay current, work with your partner, and make sure that you are staying on top of this schedule because it's pretty consistent. Next slide, please. Okay, my good friend Martin Olson at E1 Solutions, who's been in this space a very long time, once told me and a bunch of others that he was guesstimating, and I found his numbers to be solid as usual, that there are probably 20,000 companies, not users, 20,000 entities utilizing Dynamics GP today on this planet who are current with their enhancements to Microsoft. Probably another 10,000 entities utilizing Dynamics GP to run their back office, but not current on enhancements, obtaining support from their partner perhaps, or maybe internal resources. So as a good guesstimate, it's fair to say that there are probably at least 30,000 companies today on planet Earth running Dynamics GP. All right. That's a pretty big number. It'd be fair to say that there aren't enough resources, not enough human beings with the proper skill sets on this planet to move 30,000 entities from Dynamics GP to Business Central or FNSCM or something else. That's a big number. And we all know, having worked in this business a long time or been a customer for a long time, that ISVs, integrations, custom code, et cetera, every customer is different. So to move 30,000 companies by 2028 seems to me to be a very big project. So my guess is we will eventually see Microsoft push this out a little bit, because again, the sheer volume of companies leveraging Dynamics GP to grow and scale their business is huge. It really is. Next slide, please. That brings me back to the original roadmap, okay? So it does say 2028 and beyond in the bottom right-hand corner, and maybe I'm wrong about Microsoft needing to push that out, right? I'll be the first to admit it if that's the case, but I don't think that's the case, because the previous slide and the sheer volume of entities leveraging GP these days is really a big value, and I believe that this roadmap will be extended and that companies that want to stay on Dynamics GP can indeed do that. And companies that want to explore something else can indeed do that. I'm all about stakeholders having the proper information in front of them so they can make the best decisions for themselves, their colleagues, their families, etc. Okay, so I believe Dynamics GP will be around much longer than 2028, and that this roadmap will go beyond that date sometime soon. When, we're not sure, but I believe it'll be sometime soon. Next slide, please. Okay, as I said earlier, this webinar is being sponsored by Cavallo, DocStar, and Rockden. So each of us wanted to spend a little bit of time showing off our commitment to Dynamics GP. So we're going to go in alphabetical order. It's going to be yours truly first. Let's hear first from Cavallo. All right, next slide, please. So here at Cavallo, the SalesPad line of products just hit its 20th birthday this past September. We are as committed to the Dynamics GP space as we have ever been. Are we getting into other things? Yes, we are. But our commitment to our customers and what we've done for over 2 decades tied to Dynamics GP is unwavering, and it's not going to change anytime soon. This wheel is very busy, but very comprehensive and really represents our commitment and our prowess around the distribution space in Dynamics GP. So if we haven't written it ourselves, like customer and order management or our own built-in CRM or inventory manager or new profit analytics, then we've integrated to it with some tremendously talented partners like Avalara, like SPS Commerce, like Notice PayFabric, like DocStar, like Wensoft, like Shopify, and the list goes on and on. Our commitment to our customers in the Dynamics GP space isn't going to change. We will service them on the GP side of the house. We will service them elsewhere where we are developing code. It is up to the stakeholders, and we are talking with them and making sure that they know our commitment to their success is never ending, regardless of which way they choose to go. So I am pleased to be here to let our customers know that Dynamics GP is an important part of Cavallo's future. And if you want to learn more about all the things that we're doing around Dynamics GP, please visit our website, cavallo.com. Next up is my friend Jim Greco and my good friends at DocStar.
Thanks, Bob. Since 1996, DocStar has been continually evolving to really what it is today, a leading content and process automation solution, fully web-enabled, that can be either hosted in our SOC-compliant cloud or locally into your own environments. DocStar's key features can be broken down into four real major categories. The first category, at its core, is document capture and management. DocStar was born as a feature-rich and secure electronic document vault. To this day, we continue to help streamline document organization, storage, and collaboration in a secure repository. The next category is really workflow automation. DocStar helps to accelerate operational efficiency by automating mundane tasks, reducing errors, minimizing manual intervention for any document-driven business process. This frees up your team to focus on the higher level tasks that add more value to your organization. Moving on to the next category is really data security and compliance. DocStar helps you prioritize the security of sensitive information with a robust access controls, encryption, and compliance features. Finally, is really based on our integration capabilities. DocStar's integration toolkits, and there's a number of those, really enable you to seamlessly integrate with the DocStar system with Dynamics GP and virtually any other line of business application, ensuring a unified platform for information management and a central content hub for all of your disparate applications. Again, thanks for having us, and I hope the audience found value in this content today. Next slide, please.
Let us guide you, simplify you. Rockton has your back. Automate you, uncomplicate you, and keep you in the black. We're here to save the day, get you on your way. Rockton Software, we're here to stay. Awesome!
Good afternoon. My name is Mark Rockwell with Rockton Software. That was us in Nashville as on our company retreat. We hired a professional country singer to write and record a song that was custom to us. That was a lot of fun. We like to have a lot of fun at Rockton, and I think many of you that have heard of the Rockton name over the years have seen us have a little bit of fun. We provide great tools that take the great pains out of Great Plains. We are known for SmartFill, which is a data lookup tool. And that tool allows you to quickly find customers' items and other things inside of GP. It's kind of like the pop socket for cell phones. If you didn't know you needed it until you got it. And so I recommend that you try that out. We have an auditing product, which will track who changed what, when, where, and why inside of GP, including the SQL audits and advanced tracking and things like that. We do advanced security auditing as well. And one of our newer products is Rockton Pricing Management. We're known for OmniPrice in the GP space, and Rockton Pricing Management is our next iteration of that. RPM is designed to get you the right price for the right customer at the right time. We also do commissions, rebates, and royalties, and a very, very advanced complex calculator. In short, RPM is a super cool and magic tool to manage all your pricing. Discounts, rebates, margin calcs, it surely is enticing. Use attributes and product groups for slicing and for dicing. Ditch Excel, get out of hell. Stop with the sacrificing.
Thank you, Mark, Jim, and Bob. We're going to move on to a couple updates before we get into Q&A. Just so you know, again, if you are just you kind of joined a little late, you should have a question box that you can send your questions into, and we'll have some Q&A. I also wanted to just remind you that at the end of this webinar, you will be getting a follow-up email that does include the recording and some information on how to get a hold of the speakers today. And then I also want to let you know of what's next. We will be hosting another webinar on Tuesday, April 9th, and that is going to be kind of about, or it's going to be about how can you enhance your current investment. So I encourage you to join that. If you already received the emails for this, you will receive the invitation for that webinar. So mark your calendar because we will have speakers from Bob will come back, Mark will come back, and then Jay Manley from Macorma will also be joining us during that session as well. So without further ado, we will go ahead and start. We'll go and look at our questions and see. All right. And those of you, the speakers, you should also see the questions, but let me jump into a few of those.
Well done on the singing, Mark.
Yeah.
Not your first debut on a GP song.
No.
The hits go on.
Yeah. Yeah. We do have one, if anybody wants to comment, the what's new in GP. For the last 3 years, the list of new features is like 10 to 15 small features every year. Product seems to be dead, just staying around to continue with stand still without any gain. I don't know if anybody has any comments to that.
Okay, well, I do. It's true that the list of new functionality coming from Microsoft in the most recent versions has been much shorter than what we've seen in past years, right? It's a mature product and new features are being added primarily from customer requests, but I would say that the ISVs are really doing a tremendous job of bringing new functionality to Dynamics GP. Um, shameless plug here. Cavallo has rolled out Profit Analytics as of early April, a brand new product that will plug into Dynamics GP first. It's really exceptional and unique. We rolled out something called Profit Scan for Business Central during March, and that product will be coming to Dynamics GP this summer, enabling you to scan or audit line items on every quote and every order in just a few seconds so that you can make sure that margin requirements on every line item are being met before anything goes out the door. So our commitment to more integrations with some of the third parties that I mentioned and more connectors and new functionality continues to roll on. We have a dev team dedicated to GP, and we're not the only ISV rolling out new functionality for GP. So yes, the list from Microsoft is shorter, but look to the ISV community for more products and more integrations because they are all continuing to be hard at work going forward for Dynamics GP. Look there as well.
Well said, Bob.
And I'll add just a little bit to that as well, Bob. I think too, we all know that GP is a very mature product. The depth and breadth of its features are amazing, as most of us have been able to experience over the last few years. And so with that, I think it's always encouraging to see, even if it is a few new enhancements, because at least they're doing something. But the product itself is so mature that it doesn't need these, in my opinion, these large enhancements either. So
Right.
that's, I know, the perspective that I've taken and or have discussed with some other ISVs and VARs over the past couple of years as well.
Right.
So, yeah. All right, the next question is we are on GP 2018, exactly 18.6.1695. I'm always confused if our support ends in 2028 or are we considered in the modern life cycle?
Can you
I
read
believe it's
that?
clear that you're in the modern life cycle, and so
Yeah,
you'll get support for a long time.
yeah. You said 18.6. Is that what I heard, Jen?
Yep, 18.6.16.
Yeah. So that
So
to
it's
me
just,
is as current as you can get right now for all intents and purposes. And like Mark said, support is right in your wheelhouse.
And you'll
yeah.
want to stay on the latest version as well. And keep in mind that back in 2015, we were still supporting customers on the DOS version of GP, which had died officially, I believe, 20 years before. In
Right.
2020, I ran across somebody on Dynamics 4.0, which was a 1998-ish release. So you're looking at 20 some years beyond when these products end, and they're still building on GP today. Granted, it's a slower progress. Yes, they are not adding massive, huge features, but they are adding things that make the maintenance worthwhile of improving the product. This product is going to be here 20 years from now. There's absolutely no rush to get off of Dynamics GP. There is a huge ecosystem. Rockton's one of them. We've got thousands of customers on these products. We're not going away. We have a vested interest in making GP last as long as it can. So there's no panic to run out the door. Plus, it's just like Bob said, getting 30,000 customers off, this product, it's going to take decades. So no worries there.
Yeah, nice. The next question is, for customers who have many customizations, how should we address with the annual updates and our do with our new versions?
Well, okay. A lot of customers have customizations and specialty items in their system. I've been a partner for many years, and I think working directly with your reseller partner to make a plan and determine, um, is there a process internally that you can change where you don't need a customization anymore? Is there a third party out there that can iron out those gaps for this process, or so you don't have to have a customized solution, but rather a third party one? I would just recommend you work with your partner as best you can. If you have a good partner and you're planning together your success, they can guide you tremendously well, and you'll see results in your business increase dramatically. So make sure you're comfortable with your partner. You can plan and budget with them accordingly, and they can really make a big difference in the performance of your system going forward.
If you have customizations on GP, one of the best things that you can do is secure the source code for that, because there's going to be developers on Dynamics GP for, again, next 3 decades easily, that they can help you in case whoever wrote that customization for is not available. That's one way you can protect. I'm absolutely in agreement with Bob, is that anything you can do to get onto a third-party product that is supported and maintained, that's a great thing to do as well.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, next question. What are you seeing out there in the competitive landscape that is causing confusion with GP customers? In other words, who is spreading rumors about GP going away sooner than you are reporting today? I want to reassure my customers that the future looks bright.
I want to jump on that one.
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
Yeah, every other ERP out there is spreading as much FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt about GP as possible. Unfortunately, and I kind of stand alone in my little corner, I don't want to represent anybody else on the panel, Microsoft is also doing that. Microsoft is making you think that that you must go somewhere else because GP is going to fall off a cliff here real soon. It's just simply not true. They're also pushing people over to BC, and BC is woefully inadequate given the depth and breadth of years and decades of development on the GP product itself. And so it's really important to spread to customers that this product is here, it is solid, it's being supported on the life cycle, and it's not going anywhere. And just by the sheer numbers of people on Dynamics GP, you're going to be supported for years and years and years to come.
Yeah, thank you. All right, next question. What about smaller ISVs? What does the future look like for them? Does anybody?
Well, I can't speak for all ISVs. Mark mentioned that, Rockton's got a commitment to all their existing customers, and so does Cavallo, and so does DocStar. So my guess would be that smaller ISVs are similar in that mentality. If they have customers that want to stay on the current solution and want to continue forward and are paying their enhancements and want to maintain that functionality that they're getting from their third party, I would see no reason why they would move away and stop supporting their solution. That to me wouldn't make any sense. It wouldn't make any sense customer service wise. It wouldn't make any sense revenue wise. It would be silly. So my guess is, regardless of size of ISV, you're going to continue to see companies that have written code against Dynamics GP for a long time to continue to support their current products.
And I also have seen that that anybody in the GP community is just full of really decent human beings. And I'm seeing conversations between smaller ISVs going, I don't know that I can support this, or I want to move on to something else. And so they're finding other ISVs. There is some consolidation going, much like there has been a lot of consolidation in the VAR community as well.
Right.
But every ISV that I've talked to, because we have these types of conversations, is really committed to taking care of whatever customers they do have on that and making sure they land somewhere else to be supported. So I think there's a huge caring and commitment in that, just from a community standpoint of how great this community has been and continues to be.
Yeah. And I know we're coming on time, but I think this is a really good question to end with. And then for those of you that your questions didn't get answered, just remember we will be sending out a link with the presentation and addressing your questions as well. All right, the last question. We are a reseller of GP and we are adding customers we're adding GP customers in spite of the confusing message from Microsoft. However, we spend time
Yay.
each week addressing the rumors, I know, of
Yeah.
the demise of GP. Is there a standard message we can broadcast? I thought that was a good one to end on if anybody wants to just give a
Is there a standard message? Well, that's hard to say. I mean, we're doing webinars like this to try and make sure people have the right information so they can make the proper decisions for their business. And we'll keep beating this drum as often as we can. GP Optimizer, DynamicsCon Live, Community Summit, wherever we have to make sure that people are getting the proper information from Microsoft and not getting caught up in all the FUD as Mark mentioned earlier. So that's the best I can say, really. I hope that the truth gets out and people have an opportunity to digest it and think about it properly so they can make good decisions. But we'll keep beating that drum as long as we can.
Well said, Bob.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Bob. Well, thank you, Bob. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Mark. Thank you for those of you who attended and took time out of your day to attend. Look for more of our webinars to come.
Thank you.